In this video, I'm going to show you 5 different ways to take in a pair of pants. One or all of these steps can be used depending on how much you'd like to take them in. For this project, we're going to need scissors, pins, a seam ripper, measuring tape, and whatever color thread you'd like to use. The easiest place to take in the pants are the 2 side seams, the back seam, and the dart. The next level of taking them in would be lowering your waistband. Because your waist is smaller than your lower hips, it's easier to take in pants to make them fit the bigger area. The last step, because it actually alters the look of the pant, would be extending the dart to the hemline. We're going to start no matter what step we're using by removing the waistband. Make sure that you're doing this delicately and not ripping any of your fabric. You want to detach the waistband completely from the pants. Next, we're going to start by unstitching the side seams. We don't want to take it lower than the bottom of the pocket. Then we're going to unstitch our darts and our back seam. We don't want to take it lower than the crotch. And then unstitch the same on the other side. We're then going to flip the pants inside out and try them on. And now with the pants on, we're going to repin our new seams. Starting with the side seams and the back seam, and then we're going to repin the 2 darts. Once you're happy with the new fit, you can take them off. With the pants now off, we're going to make sure that all the pins that we placed are in a smooth straight line. And we're going to make sure our side seams and our darts were pinned equally on both sides. Then, placing our machine on the biggest stitch, we're going to go over where we placed our pins. So we're going to sew our side seams, our darts, and our back seam. For the darts, you want to make sure that you sew them nice and close to the edge. And then you can flip the pants around and try them on again. As you can see here, there's still quite a bit of extra fabric, and I'm going to decide to lengthen my darts to the bottom of my hem. But before doing that, I'm going to cut away the extra fabric on my new seams. And then I'm going to go over those again with a smaller stitch length. The reason for the bigger stitch at the beginning is just in case you don't like the fit, it's easier to remove a larger stitch length. To prepare for the extension of our dart in the back, we're going to unstitch our hem. And then we're going to place a pin at the center back of the leg. Using this pin and the dart as markers of our center, we're going to fold our fabric in half and place pins where we'd like to take the fabric in. And then you're going to do the same on the other leg using measuring tape to make sure that the 2 darts match up. We've now placed pins from our darts to the bottom of our hems. Keeping our fabric wrong side out, we can try on our pants and make adjustments to the pins if we like. If you're happy with the fit, you can sew along with a straight stitch. Now flipping the pants right side out, we can try them on again. If we're happy with how they fit, we can trim away the excess fabric and then go over this seam with a zigzag stitch. Making sure that the needle is going over one side of the fabric, and this will help block in the excess thread. And then you can iron out your seam and re-iron the hem of your pants. We've now taken them in at the side seams, the darts, and the back seam. And the next step is to reattach the waistband. As you can see, by placing it higher, we'd have to make it quite a bit smaller, so it's easier to reattach a waistband lower. We're then going to place pins where we'd like to reattach the waistband. Along where we placed our pins, we're now going to measure the new length of our waistband, stopping at the zipper tab. Then I'm going to unstitch the back of the waistband and repin it to a smaller length. When measuring the waistband, you want to make sure it's done up so you're taking into account the overlap. I'm going to measure it to see how much I need to take it in by using the same measurement as my new waistband. And then at the back of the waistband, making sure the seams line up, I'm going to place my pins where I'd like to take it in. Make sure that you're placing your pins in a V shape, and this will help create the curve of the waistband. You can see this curve when I flip the waistband right side out. And now with your waistband matching your new measurements, you can sew where you placed your pins. Because of the V shape that we sewed, it should have a nice curve in the back. You can then trim away the excess fabric. To help create a crisper edge, I'm going to do a top stitch on the inside of the fabric. It only needs to go over the back seam of the band, and then iron out that seam. We're now going to place right sides together of our waistband and the back of our pants. Keep in mind seam allowance when you're repinning the band. And you're going to pin all the way along until it's entirely attached. It's important here that your zipper is undone because when we're reattaching the waistband lower, we're going to sew over the zipper. Sewing over the zipper will help it be locked in place. Now you're going to try them on one last time and then sew along where you placed your pins. As you can see, I've sewn the band right over the zipper. We can now trim away our excess fabric. Cutting off the zipper fly could be unnecessary if your zipper is already in the right place, but I wanted to lower mine by 1 centimeter, so I cut it off and reattached it. And I did this by just pinning it back in right sides together. I then wanted to make sure that the lining of the waistband wasn't interfering with the zipper, so I repinned it out of the way. I then pinned at the side seams and the back seam to help lock in my waistband, and then made sure that my button lined up where I repinned my fly. And then I'm going to go over everywhere where I placed my pins, including on my zipper fly. And here you can see where I locked in my waistband. The last step is to rehem the bottom of your pants. You can do this with the machine or by hand. I'm doing an invisible hem because that's what it was for the original. Then you're going to iron everything out and you're all done. Thank you for watching, and if you liked the video, please subscribe.